Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Robbie Mendez, and today I will be talking about a sibling conflict. I resonate with the quote by Clara Ortega, which says, "To the outside world, we all grow old, but not to brothers and sisters. We know each other as we always were. We know each other's hearts. We share private family jokes. We remember family feuds and secrets, family griefs and joys. We live outside the touch of time." This semester, I explored a conflict between my brother Ronnie and me. And I used the attribution theory and psychodynamic theory to analyze the conflict. I also incorporated two strategies, which were the STLC system and I statements. I will start by explaining the conflict. Before moving to Southern California to attend APU, Ronnie and I lived and worked together. We worked at our family business, and we lived under the same roof for 20 years and worked with each other for about 8 years. The main issue between him and I were time schedules. His punctuality. He would always arrive to work late. I was not able to be relieved from my shift until he came and relieved me from my duties. This occurred several times, and I tried to explain to him that I would not be able to wait for him to be late all the time. Ronnie would give me excuses time and time again as to why he was late. I would eventually stop talking to him because there was no reasoning with him. Avoiding the situation did not result in collaboration, but would result with me holding a grudge against him. Keeping in my frustration only led to a bigger explosion between us, which Con and Abigail call gunny sacking. Using communication theories helped me analyze the conflict situation. According to Con and Abigail, attribution theory states that people act as they do in conflict situations because the inferences they make about others based on their behavior. I would treat Ronnie unkindly, and because of his tardiness, at times I would ignore him, and other times I would be overwhelmed with negativity and explode. This all stemmed not only from one, but multiple inferences occurring that I made as to why he was late to work. When I got mad and confronted him, he would get defensive and explode, and we would both just get into a bigger argument. Eventually, the argument got heated, and we would discontinue interactions altogether. When conflicting with Ronnie, there is an inner dialogue that takes place. According to Con and Abigail, psychodynamic theory says that people experiencing conflict because of the tension arising from their interpersonal states. The conflict between Ronnie and me was built up frustration within myself. I would explode further, escalating the conflict. Ironically, conflicts with Ronnie and I were more volatile than any other conflict that I had. I think it was because the relationship I have with him was very important to me. Avoidance takes a toll on the relationship just as much as the actual conflict did. My first goal was to utilize the STLC system, which is stop, think, listen, and communicate. This system promotes taking the time to think about what you are arguing about and possible conflict solutions. Listening to the other person is important because it shows that you care about what they have to say. It also enables you to see their point of view. During this semester, I was able to make 2 trips home to Northern California, in which I was able to spend some time with Ronnie, and I was able to utilize the STLC system. One recent conversation Ronnie and I had was about romantic relationships, and he was telling me his perspective on being single. Before this semester, I would have interrupted him and given him my 2 cents, but I used the STLC system and let Ronnie complete his side of the story. Then it gave me time to listen and think about everything he had to say and respond accordingly, and we engaged in an actual conversation instead of an argument. My second goal was to incorporate I statements during conflict situations. This is a useful way to, without putting blame on the others, Con and Abigail say that I statements personalize the conflict by owning up to your own feelings rather than making them the responsibility of the other person. This technique has great impact on the receiver because they can identify with how you feel, they know what the exact problem is, why you feel the way you do, and it helps you reach a common goal. Since I didn't spend much time with Ronnie over these breaks, I didn't implement this second strategy. Our visits with each other were pleasant, and I am grateful more for that than having to implement the I statements. In order to illustrate our relationship, I chose the yin and yang symbol. This symbol is familiar to many of us. However, when I was looking into it, I could relate to the meaning behind it while applying my sibling conflict. Yin and yang is defined as two forces in the universe. According to Chinese theory, yin is the passive negative force and yang is the active positive force. Even though this is one cohesive symbol, there are two parts to it, and it's represented by my brother and me. Naturally, I viewed him as the yin, the negative force, and who was taking advantage of me in my time when he was late to work. And I related to the yang, the positive active force, by making an effort to restore our conflict. Even though the colored side is the negative side, I switched it to represent the yang for myself and chose to change the color to green. I chose green because it's the color of life, renewal, nature, and energy. It is associated with meaning of growth, harmony, freshness, and safety. The red portion on the perimeter is the conflict that tries to penetrate our relationship, and the white part is what it represents our current relationship, which is peacefulness. Knowledge about the conflict between Ronnie and me by using attribution theory and psychodynamic theory helped me understand the conflict better. Different skills such as the SCLC and the I statements helped with directing to reconcile the conflict. I would like to conclude with a quote by Ken Sande, which says, "The Bible teaches that we should see conflict neither as an inconvenience nor an occasion to force our will on others, but rather the opportunity to demonstrate the love and power of God in our lives."